Hey everyone, I'm Andrew. I'm here with the first of 3 Holy Week devotionals our church is giving you guys for today, tomorrow, and Friday. I'll be doing the first one. Carol will be doing Thursdays, and Dan will be doing Fridays. And it's just kind of a chance to give you some inspiration throughout the week, throughout Holy Week, as you're at home, maybe quarantined, or as you're doing a lot of work because you're an essential employee. I hope you are doing well. I hope if you have to still keep working that you're staying safe, staying healthy, and we appreciate the work you're doing. And I also hope if you're having to stay at home, maybe it's work from home, or maybe it's just you can't do anything, so you're at home a lot with extra time. I hope you are not going crazy. I hope you're able to still work if you're working, or I hope you're able to enjoy the time off and the rest that maybe you need, and maybe that you're able to benefit from. I decided to film this next to my TV because during my quarantine time, I've had a hard time with a lot of the extra time that I've had. So binge watching TV is something I feel like I couldn't live without right now. In fact, I'm actually doing it too much, so I'm taking today to not watch TV as much. Instead, I'm filming videos in front of my TV. But the reason I did that was to kind of bring up the point, what could you not live without? So maybe during quarantine, there's something that is just getting you through these few weeks where we have to be socially distant and at home a lot. For me, it's a lot of TV shows. But as we think about Holy Week, often a big reminder in Holy Week is that without Jesus, our religion, our faith, Christianity as a whole would have no meaning. Without the death, resurrection, and life of Jesus, everything we do as Christians would be meaningless. And Holy Week is often a reminder, and especially once we hit Easter, which is a reminder of the resurrection of Jesus, it's often a reminder that because of what God gave us through Jesus, our lives have meaning. So in Luke chapter 20, Jesus is giving this parable to Pharisees and tax collectors and a lot of followers. And he's in this particular parable, which is kind of a dark and morbid one, he's speaking specifically to the Pharisees. And so at this point, they've really had it out for him. They've really tried to discredit him, disprove him, show that he's just full of it, not God, show that he's teaching people incorrectly. And these religious teachers and people that have dedicated their whole lives to following God and run the synagogues and do the correct teachings and do everything from the Torah that they could, it's almost ironic that these of all people have completely missed the fact that the Son of God is talking to them. And so they're trying to discredit Jesus. They're trying to get him. And he gives this parable, and I'm not going to spoil the whole parable, but I do recommend Luke 19. Check it out. You should read it on your own, maybe today if you have some time. But part of the ending is this landowner sends his son to the field, and the tenant kills the son. And the son is supposed to be a metaphor for Jesus. And at the end of the parable, Jesus, talking about himself, says in verse 17, "But he looked at them and said, 'What does this text mean? The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. Everyone who falls on that stone will be broken to pieces and will crush anyone whom it falls.'" In this text, he's getting really serious with the Pharisees, who are totally not seeing who God is through Jesus and kind of working against Jesus in many ways. But Jesus calls himself the cornerstone. Paul in Ephesians 2 also calls Jesus the cornerstone. Now, I don't know if you've made a lot of houses in your day, or if you've done it in the styles that we're more used to back in Jesus' time. But the cornerstone was the one stone that was meant the foundation of the entire house. When you built a house with stones, you would start with the cornerstone, and everything else would be built around the cornerstone. If you were to somehow take the cornerstone out, the whole house would fall apart. No cornerstone, no house. Jesus, in these verses and in many other parts of the Bible, says he's the cornerstone of our faith. No Jesus, no faith, no Christianity, no meaning to what we're doing. If our faith was quarantined, Jesus would be the one thing we couldn't do it without. He uses much less metaphor elsewhere in the Bible when he says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through me." So during this time of Holy Week, I want to remind you how essential Jesus is. And how powerful Jesus is, and how life-changing that is. If you're having a hard time this week, if you're having a hard time at home or at work, remember the power of Jesus and depend on that. If you're needing more than you have, remember Jesus gives us more than enough. And our faith is dependent on Jesus. And I hope that's inspirational to you. I hope that helps you in wherever you're coming from today. And I look forward to the rest of our Holy Week devotions and to see just this whole week we're kind of reminded about the essentialness of Jesus in our lives and how life-changing that is. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye.